Okay, so gonna see the game from Stefan's point of view against Jimmy, the Zoroark mirror match, where I would say both Lucario and Weavile provide advantages in the mirror match, right?
Yeah, both definitely. They have their other uses, but they are both reasonable cards in mirror. I can imagine we're going to see both Weavile and Lucario show up in this matchup. I think a lot of the time the matchup can be dictated by the use of Lycanroc and dealing with your opposing Lycanroc, because those are the big threats that if they stick on board, they can definitely carry over to take 4 prizes on their own back. So Stefan, maybe with better answers to Jimmy's Lycanroc in particular, might make him slightly favoured, and also the fact that he has Kukuis in his list, so he can close out games on Tapu Leles a little bit easier than Jimmy can.
Yeah, and then once Jimmy realizes he's up against Weavile, it'll be interesting to see how he manages his abilities in play and tries to play around that, because not only do you have to play around Lycanrocs and eliminating them before they can take over the game, like eliminating those energy drops, you also have to worry about doing that with probably less Zoroarks than your opponent. So
yeah, it's a mild sort of check that Stefan can keep him in throughout the entire game, saying, go ahead, dig hard, find responses now. It means I can hit you with Weavile later. Or Jimmy might have to be content with some suboptimal turns just because he doesn't want to go over that threshold for the Weavile. So it feels like the ball's really in Jimmy's court to play better around Stefan, who can go for his plan A a lot more often of the time, because he's not worried about how many Zoroarks he gets out. The more the merrier a lot of the time. Obviously, you're still worried about the Lycanroc, but he's got a pretty strong start here. A strong Lily's got him into more ball search and a Pokecom as well that he could go for. He gets the Ditto down immediately. I got to imagine he's going for a Rockruff here. Getting a turn 1 attachment as well. Such a huge deal in a mirror match situation. He can go ahead and put the unit straight on Rockruff, and immediately he's threatening Jimmy. He can hold this com for a potential Zoroark guarantee turn 2, and I like that. I think he's got a reasonable enough board that he can just send it over to Jimmy now.
yeah, will we finally see Stefan use a Pokecom? I guess we'll find out.
Jimmy's going to kick off with 1. He can go ahead and get his muck out of there and change it for another basic here.
Yeah, Jimmy got 2 mulligans off of Stefan, and he does have the Stadium and the Ultra Ball to make his hand even smaller, so he will be able to dig very nicely. Though he does have the option to Cynthia instead of Lily, so I don't know, maybe he could value not benching a Lele over those few extra cards that Lily could get him, just to make sure that he doesn't have that liability on the bench.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. It could just be guarantee yourself a Ditto here, or get yourself a Rockruff. Interestingly, in Zoro mirrors, if you're the player going second, putting down Ditto is a lot more risky, because your opponent can just muck you out, and essentially it's like playing a pseudo-Wudo against them. So Jimmy looks like he's setting up to just go for a Cynthia here. At least we know for him that Counter Gain is in deck. He did discard his own Mallow though, so it may be difficult to try and dig that back out again.
Yeah, and I guess it took him a little bit to play the Cynthia. I guess he was debating on whether playing down the Counter Gain or not was worth it, but with Stefan's pretty decent hand, you definitely have to think it's going to be better saved for later on.
We see Jimmy respond with his own fighting energy on Rockruff, and he can send it back over to Stefan here, who has himself a Mallow top deck. Some interesting plays are definitely on the table for him here. He could, try and take full advantage of Mallow, maybe take a knockout with Zoroark doing Bloodthirsty Eyes on the Rockruff, but Jimmy's put down that 2-threat option. He's got himself Rockruff with an energy, and then even Riolu without an energy is already a threat against Zoroark players, because they only require 1 to take knockouts.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously Stefan doesn't know Jimmy's hand, but he does know that Jimmy has an energy ready to go. Though Stefan could easily Mallow for Lycanroc and a Stadium or the Field Blower to counteract that and force Jimmy to need 2 cards to respond to this rather than just the Lucario.
That's true. So the Mallow, I'm expecting it definitely to be Lycanroc. and it's whether he wants to maybe get second Zoroark here to really get rolling, or if he wants to get something to make it harder for Jimmy to respond with a Lucario here.
Yeah, because I mean, eliminating a Rockruff with an energy is obviously great, but we see him not even consider the stadium or the field lower. He just straight up goes for the Zoroark.
Yeah.
And I guess he values that stability over limiting Jimmy's outs next turn. Because if you're trading a Rockruff with an energy for a Zoroark, I think that's always a very valuable trade for you.
Yeah, I think that's something that he doesn't mind too much. I doubt he'll trade away this Lily. It sounds very risky. He thinks about it for a half second, maybe another half second. He's thinking real hard about this. He's thinking, is Lily ever going to be a good enough play for me on the next turn? I think he's got to hold on to this and just take the Raj beating.
Right, so Jimmy not guaranteed anything, right? But any Pokecom, any Ultra Ball, well, not any Pokecom if he benches the Oranguru, but any Ultra Ball just to roll Lucario. He does have the Viridian Forest to thin his hand even more for this Lily, so if he finds a Lucario in the energy, Stefan could be in trouble as long as Jimmy does control his bench, right? As long as he doesn't play into the dangerous rogue.
Yeah, 3 is his maximum this turn by the looks of things. That's why we're seeing him Viridian away the Oranguru.
Yeah. Jimmy's going all in on this play.
Even playing the Palpad.
Yeah. Which I like.
Get like his Mallow. Yeah.
You are making your deck bigger by 2 cards, therefore lowering your odds of finding Lucario, but you are drawing an extra card. So the trade-off is definitely there.
Yeah.
And there we go. Not a great follow-up for Jimmy, but he does score double prizes here.
Yep. And the Lucario is so awkward to get around. Stefan with only a 2-card hand now. He's already played 1 Lycanroc GX down, wanting to gust around it because he can't just attack into this guy because the GX attack option's there. So Stefan definitely needs to find himself a gusting effect here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, just Stefan got that second Zoroark, never even like scrolled through the other stadium or the field blower. Maybe he already knew they were priced, but I'm not sure. And he just established that Zoroark but didn't even trade, so
his second Lycanroc's actually in the prizes as well, so if he's gonna do anything this turn,
he's gonna Lily, so he can't attack this turn.
I did see the stadium in there, so I don't know. I definitely would have preferred to have. If he had countered the stadium, then Jimmy would not have found energy to return KO. So
that's true.
Slight.
You're gonna see.
Go.
I mean, guaranteeing the Zoroark at least means that he can dig deeper on this turn. But you're right. It makes it. Maybe he's thinking that Jimmy's so likely anyway to just have a 2-card combo. I don't know, it's a hard one to say. But he's going to start committing energy to his Ditto now.
Okay.
He's got himself another Zorua that he's debating. You always have to try and think about bench management as well. You never want your Lycanroc to go down to the opponent's Lycanroc. That's always the problem. So Stefan having to just pass might be really, really awkward for him. He's going to replace the stadium at this point.
Yeah, which feels like that should have been the previous turn.
It opens the door for Jimmy now. It really does. Gets a lot of value out of this Lucario. Takes a prize and also denies Stefan a whole turn, effectively, of attacking. So he's really stolen the tempo with this 1 energy Lucario. It's really been a huge deal.
Yeah. Now we have a very, like, I would say in Mexico, like, battle of the weaklings, right? Because Lucario is just gonna deal 30 damage now. It's not gonna do anything too impressive. So Stefan wasn't able to play around it, but Jimmy also doesn't have a great follow-up here. So we're playing a game of chicken here. Like, who's gonna make the first move? Is it gonna be Jimmy benching more stuff to play into the dangerous rogue, or is it gonna be Stefan committing to attacking into a Lucario? And it is Jimmy balling for a Lele.
Lele. Incredible. Trying to deal with this Ditto. I was thinking that dealing with Ditto is definitely a solid play here. He could even do it with the Lucario again by just paying retreat on something else. This way, he's hoping that the Lele can tank a hit. Maybe thinking his own list can tank hits against Lele's because there's no Kukui in his build. Stefan's build is much more aggressive with double Kukui, so this could be a way Stefan can try and punish him here. But definitely an interesting play from Jimmy.
Yeah, because now like Dangerous Roguing Lucario or Lele is a bit underwhelming, right? It's like it's not the target you want to be dealing with, so...
Stefan only has one trade available right now. He could Ultra Ball, find another Zoroark, Lele for Kukui, and then have Kukui to draw 2 cards, then 2 Zoroarks to give him 6 cards to try and find Banned and Basic. But that's still asking a lot, so you can see him debating, saying, how likely is it that I can actually knock out this Lele with a Zoroark? Or do I need to just Dangerous Rogue through this guy right now? Jimmy still with no Zoroarks might be the only reason why Stefan might still want to go in with Lycanroc and maybe even just Claw Slash. Thinking, well, no Zoroarks. Ace Eroda's not guaranteed at the very least.
Yeah, or even a Lele Guzma into a Claw Slash Rockruff would be pretty decent. The issue is finding that DC, of course, off of just your top deck and then the trade.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Long debate. He does go for Lycanroc.
Yeah, decides to commit.
Energy picked up. Doesn't change too much for him. He really doesn't... I really feel like the Dangerous Rogue is wasted on this Lele. Feels like you do it only if you find no other energy option.
He does have guaranteed KO, but yeah, it's once again very underwhelming. With no Zoroarks for Jimmy though, maybe that's just the right play. You should trade first for sure and see what that option gives you, or not. I mean, sure, that also works.
Or just slap it on. Maybe this indicates that he's going to be playing Judge this turn.
I feel like that's a bit weak though. Just bringing down from 5 to 4 when you have no information. Yeah, like if he gets DCE here, he's gonna be not too happy.
Oh,
yikes! I swear I have not watched these games. I swear I have not watched these
games. You so often see trade first is the golden rule for Zoroark.
Yeah.
See your entire hand before making your decisions, and it's stuff like that, you know. Even though it's just one trade, it can really change the complexion of where your hand wants to take you. And yeah, I guess he's thinking that going for the GX attack here. See, it's even worse for him to GX attack through the Lele because it's 50 damage that sits on the board for his Weaviles later on.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
he's gonna do it.
He's in this whole conundrum though because the Lycanroc is priced, right?
Yeah.
That's the big issue. The Stretcher could be useful to get back a Lycanroc, but he doesn't even have a Rockruff established.
Jimmy picks up a huge top deck. It's going to be the Lycanroc that he's immediately hovering over. This 30 damage doesn't seem like much, but it can knock out Zoruas, keep his tempo going. He could even attach a second energy to the Lucario this turn. Now that Dangerous Rogue's out the way, he's not afraid of that at all. He could even attach to his own Lycanroc and set his own Dangerous Rogue up as well. That's exactly what it's going to go for by the looks of things.
Yeah.
Choosing to bench a Grime? No, he goes Ditto instead. That's got to be the better call.
It's interesting to see how Jimmy's Zoroark deck is actually working pretty fine without the Zoroark at all.
Yeah, he's done pretty nicely. Finally, we see one.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't think you mind establishing that one because you still only have 3 abilities in play, which makes it almost impossible for Weavile to get a one-hit KO. Does require Choice Band Kukui and Tivard Field, which we all received 2 of, I guess.
Jimmy's seen, I don't think, any of them just yet. But as long as your Lycanroc isn't knocked out, which Kukui's part of that combination.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You're not too worried. Like, as long as Lycanroc sticks, which will be the case, you're fine. So Jimmy can evolve this one Zoroark. Probably just trade away Grimer. Take this one prize. and basically just say that, yeah, Dangerous Rogue is guaranteed game here. He's actually holding off on it. I guess he's saying, I'm already holding game. What else do I need to dig for? I guess the answer is nothing, really.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, as long as Stefan... Oh, no, yeah, he can KO this orc. Never mind. And... yeah, Stefan has no way to deal with that Lycanroc. Jimmy has... I mean, Jimmy actually wants Stefan to be aggressive and take a knockout somewhere here. That way he can just immediately promote the Lycanroc, or open up a bench space to Ultra Roll for Lele for the Kuzma. So I guess Jimmy's rooting for Stefan this turn.
Stefan might have to not bench any more Pokemon. That's one thing. Oh no, the Claw Slash already gets him there, so benching stuff still like doesn't change your loss condition, I guess. He might have to try and Lycanroc smack into the other Lycanroc, but it feels super scary. You still can't attack into this Lucario, you know that much.
Yeah. And it's just, you can take one prize this turn, but how do you take your last two?
So benching the Sneasel means he can't even... Oh man, that's so weird. I was thinking if he didn't bench Sneasel here, he could Lycanroc swing into the other Ditto and take a prize, or into his Lycanroc GX, force Jimmy to pick it up and stall a turn, but this way it means nothing's taking a hit.
I mean, but Jimmy could just KO one of the Zorgs, right?
But that forces a GX attack at least.
But he's down to two prizes.
It forces a Gust, I mean.
Yeah, but he has Ultra Roll for Lele.
Yeah, but Stefan doesn't know that, right?
Well, yeah, but he hasn't seen a Lele at all, so I mean, it's a safe assumption, right?
We know he's super far behind, but benching this second Sneasel just means that Jimmy can just promote and win. If he doesn't bench the Sneasel, at least it forces Jimmy to find a switch card, Gust effect.
That's true. That's very true. Force your opponent to find the most amount of cards, and we see Stefan had. I mean, Jimmy had 2 TCs priced, I think. Insane. I saw those being picked up.
That's incredible.
So,
Carried by the Lucario, really insane. We saw a lot of value out of that Lucario.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that game came down to Stefan choosing to establish another Zork rather than going for that stadium. I thought at first he had priced it, but then I saw it off of another search, so not sure. Not sure what the logic was there for that particular game. But yeah, guys, we're gonna have a quick little break. I'm gonna go get some more water because I'm definitely not used to talking this much for this long. And I will be right back in just a second.
Okay, looks like we're going into game 2. And Stefan, obviously losing the first game, he gets to go first. Starting off with a Tapu Lele, which really does suck. You never want that to be the lead for you ever. Looks like he has no basic Pokemon either. He's really hoping for a Pokecom or an Ultra Ball start. He might just be forced to attach like Choice Band DCE and Cynthia. Feels bad, man. Judge is his top deck. That's not too helpful. Ah, this is yucky. Stefan actually considering the unit energy. He's up against a Grimer.
All right. So we are back, guys. I don't know if Joe's still here.
Yeah, I've been talking him through it.
Oh,
saying
perfect.
how
perfect.
bad Stefan's hand is.
Awesome. Yeah, pretty bad, definitely. Why not commit the DCE there?
Yeah, I was fully expecting DCE.
Yeah.
Especially because the units are like even more valuable to some regard because the matchup is super dictated by your Weavile and Lycanroc.
Yeah.
It feels really strange to not attach DCE there.
Yeah, because even like if Jimmy for whatever reason ends up not drawing well, then the DCA allows you to apply pressure, and with another energy and a Kupui you can get the knockout too. But now you have to find the DC.
Yeah. There's even random like Guzma knockout Ditto spots that you can find yourself in if it seems to be the right play, or Jimmy plays 160 hit point Rockruff, you could try and do plays and deal with that. So lots of ways you could try and punish Jimmy on turn 2 if you attach the DC there. Now he's basically saying this is only ever a retreating option for me.
Yeah.
At the very least he finds a couple basics and sends it over.
Okay, so Jimmy with a pretty decent hand. He has the Lily, he has a Nest Ball, not a bad hand, and you're definitely rooting for that Grimer to go down because it's not easy to retreat.
Yeah, that's for sure. With the Pokecom as well, he can get rid of that Lycanroc GX for now, find himself one of those important basics. The Zeruas and the Rockruffs are always the first things on your list. Because he has a Nest Ball as well, he might get one of each. Or he may just be trying to double up on Zorua here, knowing that Stefan's got his own Ditto down and could be hunting around for Lycanroc on turn 2. Guaranteeing your own trade is always so vital in the matchup. Even though Jimmy didn't trade once in the first game, which is pretty bizarre to see.
Yeah, that's true. I had not realized that. Not a single trade in the Zorg mirror match even.
And winning that mirror, that's insane, right?
Yeah.
If he's brave, he can get an attachment in on Rockruff, and he is indeed brave.
Yeah.
He's going to go ahead and Lily for 6.
I mean, off of 3 cards Stefan is holding, he would need Guzma, DC, Zorg.
But he's got Bloodthirsty Eyes as well, right?
Well, yeah, true. Yeah, that's true. It's like you're playing to win, right? So, like, if you don't attach to the Rockruff, it's like you're saying, oh, but my opponent could KO it. But then it's like, yes, but he also could not. And the advantage that the Lycanroc provides, it definitely outweighs the risk at this point. And being one game up in a series, I think also gives you a little bit more room to perhaps make a few of these riskier plays, purely because you know you're going to go first next game, and you have a whole other game to
That's true.
To recover.
And there are no time constraints in these best of threes, are there?
Yeah, no, there were absolutely no time constraints in these games. So thankfully, TPC BTCGO. Why is that so hard to pronounce today?
I don't know.
BTCGO definitely, I think, speeds up the games purely because of the shuffling, right? Like the 15, 20, 30 seconds spent shuffling is no longer there. So that definitely helps in speeding up these sort of games.
Sure. Let's see. Zoroark, Bloodthirsty Eyes is here. No energy though. And this is the thing. Jimmy had to attach his rainbow energy. If this was a DC on the Lele, we'd be slapping high fives right now, saying this is a crazy turn for Stefan, it's incredible. But now it's like, oh man, no DCE. Stefan's doing nothing.
Yeah.
It's actually insane.
Yikes. And I mean, this is a great example of how, like, these small decisions that you make end up either creating an advantage or disadvantage for you, right? And the very first card that Stefan played already created a slight disadvantage for him.
That's really bad. Just having to pass it over now. He's commit his counter game to the Ditto as well. So all sorts of awkwardness coming out now. Really rough. Stefan keeping the Grimer active at least might give him some respite. It forces Jimmy to have some switching cards at the very least. Here's Zoroark #1. The first Zoroark in this 2 games.
Yeah, I guess this time he really can afford it.
Let's see the Pokecom.
Yeah, Jimmy is actually using the Pokecoms.
He's used them well. He's used them well.
Yeah. I guess each player has different styles of playing the Pokecoms.
Yeah. Trading is the biggest decision you can always make with Zoroark, in my opinion. It's always the thing that you have to really drill into players to get very accomplished with the deck, because obviously resources are key, but also knowing the amount of outs you can draw into to improve your turn. And since Pokecom, it's changed everything, really. A lot of the time you hold on to excess Pokemon that don't help you here and there because you could have extra outs with those comms and turn them into useful cards. Jimmy continuing to set up his board. He has 2 Lele's on the field, which is ugly, but it's meant that he's got this Guzma.
Yeah.
And he's going to target the counter gain, starve that from Stefan, and it's effectively the only Lycanroc that could come out from Stefan, so he's pretty content leaving the Zoroark active. Only 3 abilities in play for Jimmy, so he's not too scared of a Weavile either. Really solid turn from him.
Yeah, a Weavile is a possibility, but you need the unit, which one of them is down on the Lele. You need a Choice Band, which one of them is down on the Lele. A Kukui and a Devoured Field. So at least Stefan played those cards without the knowledge that he would be in this situation just a few turns later. So it's not that he was wrong in playing them, but it does decrease the chances of responding to this Zoroark at this time.
Certainly does. And Stefan's going to go into that Lele. At the very least, he could retreat out of it this turn, so he's giving himself more options. But it may end up becoming the attacker at this point because he doesn't have much else going for him. He too is going to have to commit his second Lele to the board. One interesting thing about Jimmy is he's got 2 Lele's and a Grimer on his field. It's really not going to transition well into the mid game because it doesn't have any potential threat for more than 1 Rockruff. So if Stefan can try and find a way to knock out a Rockruff this turn, it would be absolutely insane. But he's going to go ahead and Wonder Tag for the Lily out the gate here before trading. Just saying, hey, give myself the most number of cards here instead.
Yeah,
try and 2-shot the Zoro.
If your plan is to play sort of like draw supporters like Lily or Cynthia, it is better to play those before you trade, right?
For sure.
But if your plan is to Guzma or Acerola, then that's when you trade first.
And he's just going to go ahead and evolve a second Zoroark here. And Lily. He essentially would have had to have traded into exactly Guzma energy, so it makes sense that he goes for the safer route of the Lily.
Yeah, for sure.
And, finally picks up a DCE. He definitely wants to try and get his own Rockruff re-established here. He's looking at a Pokecom as well.
But knowing Stefan, he's going to trade the Zorg.
Oh, dearie me.
Please don't.
He's holding on to Stretcher, though, so he can still like recover that one for himself.
What? I was genuinely joking. I genuinely want to ask Stefan what the logic is.
And if he knows what Pokemon communication does.
He definitely knows. What?
Yeah, he's just going to keep tossing these away. Now we'll see him Ultra Ball for a Rockruff.
Oh no.
Oh my god. I'm actually so mad.
What? Okay, so, well, I mean, still, but...
Yeah, it's the same.
Oh, jeez.
Days. He burnt so many more cards than he had to there.
Yeah.
He burnt 5 cards when the con would be burning, what, 3?
Yeah.
So he lost... Oh my goodness, that's so weird. So essentially him trying to save the Mallow with his opening trades meant he had to spend even more discards. That's actually so crazy.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
And then it's like, if the Weavile goes down this turn, which is realistically the biggest threat, sure, he has a Stretcher, right? But you'd rather have Stretcher for like more Weaviles. But now he doesn't have the Ultra Ball, which could have been used to search for the Weavile.
Incredible.
Yeah. And now, big shout out to chat though. They're sending a lot of love, and they do enjoy the hand cam, I guess. Which that's the whole purpose of this. Like, obviously we have the really 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 good players, but I really wanted to do something innovative for the community, and I really do appreciate that you guys appreciate it. So big shout out to the viewers. Okay, so back to the game.
Next turn. Yeah, so he's going to go ahead and grab a Lycanroc here. He's going to go for a Bloodthirsty Eyes. It might just be to deal with the Weavile here.
Yeah.
Stefan has built up the double threat, though. At the very least, it's forcing more out of Stefan.
Yeah.
Now there's that threshold of 4 abilities in play, which is a little bit scary for Jimmy. But he's at the very least going to take out this Weavile. We have to stress as well, he's not playing Kukui, so he can't one-shot the Lele, so he has to go around it, really.
Yeah.
So this is pretty much always going to be his play, outside of doing like a Guzma Claw Slash on a Zoroark. But
yeah, I mean, he does have the GX,
strong,
though, from Lycanroc.
Yeah, that's true, that's true.
Yeah. This is rough for Stefan. At 3A... Oh, no, there's 4 abilities. We do need to trade into Energy and Guzma, which is not likely. There's no more Lele's available to you. So it's like, you're really... Like, each little turn, he's falling farther behind.
I feel like he's got to try and take a risk here. I feel like you've got to throw Sneasel up. Well, the Lele is also fine to throw up because you can retreat out of it as well. But I feel like he's definitely digging for a Kukui play here with recycling this Weavile. That's got to be something that's your priority. You've got to try and swing the tempo back in your favor because he's 2 prizes down. He has no real threats developed. It's really got to be something he looks for here. Skewing the prize trade with your Weavile would be huge as well. So
yeah,
it all points in that direction. He needs to try and find a unit energy though.
Oof.
Just DCE.
Wrong energy. He did get the Guzma, so he could have eliminated the Lycanroc with just the wrong energy.
You say it just points back to turn 1.
Yeah.
When you play with those dead hands, you still need to play them knowing that the game could go long. And it's really rough.
Yeah, like if DC had been attached on turn 1, there wouldn't even be a Lycanroc there.
Yeah,
because the Rockruff would have gone down such a long time ago.
Or it just meant that Jimmy couldn't have played the Rainbow in the first place. He would have been too worried about a potential Lycanroc because there was a DC Lele threat. It completely changed how Jimmy plays. So.
True.
It's so crazy that Jimmy's got such a terrible board state in terms of Lele, Grimer, but it's even better than Stefan's at the moment. It's so weird.
Yeah. Yeah, both players with both their Leles. Stefan stretchers back this Sneasel. Does he actually have a second stretcher? No, so it comes down to just re-establishing the double threat.
Yeah, he knows that Jimmy will pretty much just run right over the board if the lone Sneasel is answered.
Yeah.
Wait.
Why?
Yes, why is the exact question I'm thinking right now. Freeing up a board space for Jimmy is very bizarre. I guess the thing is, he's thinking that Jimmy could turn into Muck and shut down the Weavile's damage.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
So he's trying to make sure that the Weavile is still doing numbers.
Yeah, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. I was gonna say why that over Zora, but yeah, that definitely makes sense. That definitely makes sense.
Bulucast got us in chat as well. He knows.
Yeah.
It's on the same wavelength.
Yeah, that one definitely flew over my head for sure.
I mean, there's always the benefit of just stop the Zoroark, stop Jimmy having the power spike turns, but this is Stefan doing the best of a bad lot right now.
Yeah, like if he's gonna make a comeback, that's how he's going to do it, right? With the Weavile.
Exactly. The Weavile hard carry, as Jimmy's just going to continue. This Lycanroc doesn't feel like it's going to get checked until Stefan finds himself that Weavile answer. But if Jimmy can just knock out this extra Zoroark, which he wants to do anyway, puts him down to 2 prizes, it also limits Stefan an extra trade, which pushes him further away from the Weavile that Jimmy knows that Stefan missed last turn. So you can just keep going. Lycanroc's here.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure I
different-
agree with attaching the energy before the lily though, because what exactly are you looking off? Are you looking for off of that lily?
Yeah.
Right?
You'd rather
Like-
it to be a DC attachment, right?
Exactly, because if you go for the claw slash, and then you still have access to your GX to finish off a lily or something. But now, Jimmy's definitely gonna have to go through either two Sneasels or like Lele, but he has no way to one kill the Lele, so it could get a bit awkward here.
And it's even more so the case because he plays no Kukui. These Leles are actually
Yeah.
tanky for him. They're
Yeah,
basically the same as Zoroarks in the matchup.
Yeah, exactly. At this point, Lele is just as good as a Zoroark.
Especially when it's got DCE unit and choice band. This is a pumped up Lele.
Pumped up Lele indeed. Only one trade available for Stefan plus a Kukui, so that's what he needs to find that unit. He already has the Ultra Wall to find the Weavile, but he's missing the unit, and that's not the right energy.
He can actually take a knockout because of the rainbow energy here. He can Kukui DCE.
Oh yeah, that's
The
true.
rainbow energy is huge. That's actually nuts. This is why I don't play rainbow in my builds.
I mean,
It's also in 190 is a real big number against lightning stuff as well. This
Yeah,
is a huge
that's true.
pickup for Stefan. This is a big swing for him. This is actually awesome.
yeah, because then you have to follow up. If he can follow up this Acerola into a Weavile, that's gonna be pretty big.
Yeah, it's still forcing. Well, Jimmy still needs, like, even if he just Guzman's a Sneasel, Jimmy still feels super ahead.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's currently not there for him. He's got 2 trades to get him towards some gusting. He can always stretch back this Lycanroc at the very least,
Yeah.
but it puts another ability in play, which comes with its own risks. So I think Jimmy's turn is essentially stretch back a Lycanroc, attach to it, and dig with trade to try and find a Guzma for next turn to close the game.
Yeah, I think that's
Pretty
right.
much what he's got to do. Maybe even set up a second Rockruff as well, just to have the guaranteed extra gusting option. Starts off with the stretcher for 3 targets.
Yeah.
And recycle the Rockruff. He's already got Pokecom to find the Lycanroc again. He's going to start off by trading first, though. It doesn't change the number of outs in your deck, so it's fine.
And immediately finds the Lycanroc 2 off of that first trade.
As DCE, so the ideal turn is pretty much there. He actually chooses to attach to the Zoroark. Interesting. It means you need to find a second gusting effect. Whereas if you attach to the Lycanroc, you could just swing into this Weavile and then find another energy to close game. Huh. I guess he's still super close.
I mean, this forces Stefan to go in with the Lily, right? Because if he uses
Yeah, he can't
Weavile,
use
then
a
he
Weavile.
immediately loses.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Can this Lele get a one shot on the Zoroark? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 140, 170. Yeah, with a DC he gets it. I mean, DC plus Judge doesn't sound unreasonable here.
Yeah, it actually might be his only option.
Yeah. Energy plus Kukui also does it, but then with Jimmy's huge hand, you can't let him have that this turn.
Yeah. This Lele.
Wow.
We
first
questioned
Lele.
the unit, and now look at him.
Yeah.
He's just getting the work done.
That Lele is definitely the MVP for Stefan here. I wonder how many DCs he has left.
Hoping he shows us.
Yeah, me too.
He'll have a look. He'll do it, I'm sure.
Let's go. 1.
Oh boy.
Oof. So I think you commit to the other Ultra Wall too.
Yep, you have to.
Give yourself the best chances here. Oh gosh, I really hope he gets his TC. I want to go to a game 3. I really want to go to a game 3.
It would be so hype.
Yeah. I'm sure I agree with the discard of the Grimer there, because it's a card that you can bench, therefore thinning it after the Judge.
I just don't know. I think he needs all the other cards in his hand, though.
Does he need Acerola at this point?
I guess his hope is that Ace, like, he loses if anything else gets attacked, right? So he has to hope that this Lele can Acerola up and win. Oh no, if it tanks anyway, he wins, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because Lele literally can one-hit KO anything, so...
That's true.
It's an Acerola going back into the deck. It's just like Pedro's from earlier, where he discarded the Guzma and didn't bench the Dawn Wings. It's one card, right? It's one card, but when you're talking an almost 10-card deck, one card is 10%. Definitely want to increase your chances by 10%. He's debating on whether to trade first and then to judge. I feel like I would judge first.
He's just thinking, because he could... What could he draw into? The power plant doesn't change anything, because he doesn't want a Kukui. Yeah, judge first seems like the move.
But yeah, the deck will be 14 cards after the judge, rather than 13. And then the trade.
He may be debating if it's worth him paying Retreat Lele just to Guzma knock out the Rockruff to sort of limit Jimmy's outs, but even that's not as good as the judge here.
Yeah, I think Jimmy's hand is too big for you to contemplate that. Like, we can see, thanks to this beautiful hand cam, that there's no Guzma, but Stefan does not know that.
Yeah. Okay, let's see the judge. 1 in 11.
Doesn't get there.
Doesn't get there. I'll reuse the trade. Yeah. And then Jimmy finds Pokecom plus Lucario for the Lycanroc to close this out. Oof, that was close though. That was close. Could have been 6 cards instead of 7.
Just saying.
I don't know if you like when you test or not, but I always like seeing like, okay, so what would have happened? I like redoing scenarios to see, like, I don't know, when I'm testing, I like to, especially in real life, I like to do like, okay, so I'm gonna, if I'm Cynthiaing for 1 out or something, I'll shuffle my deck and draw 6, and then be like, okay, I did get it, and then shuffle it again and draw another 6, and see how often I get it to see if it was actually like the right way to go about it or not.
Right.
And there we go. The stretcher that put back that second Lycanroc gets Jimmy the second Lycanroc, and that's gonna be the game. Pretty intense series. It looked like Stefan was always like behind, but he definitely had the potential to make the comeback.
Yeah, and Jimmy, I think he played really well in the second game. He didn't really put a foot wrong at all, and capitalized on the awkward turns that Stefan was going through. Wasn't able to capitalize on the Lucario just as much. So in many ways, these 2 games went super differently, where Lucario dictated the first game. Weavile didn't get a look in either matchup as well, which is pretty insane. It like wasn't really a factor at all, other than Jimmy not benching a Zoroark on like 1 turn. That was basically it. That was the only effect that the Weavile had. So it's interesting to see that the Lucario seeming to be the more impactful tech card over the 2.
Yeah, and I mean, both players obviously incredibly skilled. Stefan winning the largest ever tournament in Pokemon history, and then getting 2nd place just this February in Australia and Melbourne. And then Jimmy, who has accumulated 4 regional wins just this season. Obviously, like, something so small like not getting a stadium or attaching the wrong energy is what ends up separating these 2 incredibly skilled and talented players.
Definitely. I mean, they're not going to put the foot wrong many times, and it's just, if ever there is a judgment call because they're, you know, trying to play around different things. Obviously, we don't get their aspect. We're only looking at it from our perspective, so they can have other things in their sort of field of vision of why they're making their own decisions, but it could just end up that it ends up worse for them in certain spots based on how the opponent tries to counteract their moves. So obviously it's a back and forth, and everyone's plays completely depend on the board and what they can see. So those sorts of early decisions like DC or Unit Energy on the Lele turn 1 completely changes the complexion of the entire game from then on. So those small decisions can really end up completely taking you down a route that you never thought you'd go. Like, you never really think about aggro Lele even being a possibility in a matchup, but it ended up as Stefan's only option there.
Yeah.
And it just really painted for a very colourful and interesting game.
Yeah, definitely. And then, since Jimmy did win in the winners match, we have him as first place of the group. Yeah, Stefan is at 1-1, so he will be playing in the ace match of the group to see who advances in second place against the winner of Pedro versus Caleb. So we have Malamar versus Articuno Blastoise coming up. Perhaps we're going to see a few Towering Splash GX this time to KO a lot of Malamars. Perhaps we're going to see Nagro Blastoise Lele like we saw in the previous series. We are about to find out. We will see Group B today. All the games will be on YouTube as well. I will be uploading them hopefully tomorrow, throughout the day and throughout the week, guys. So don't worry about it for those of you who are just tuning in and missed the first part or won't be able to tune into everything. All of this will be available on YouTube. Yeah, and so why don't we jump into our fourth match of the day, Joe? Yeah?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Perfect. In 3, 2, 1.